First of all, thank you very much for coming here tonight. We really appreciate you making the effort to be here. Tonight is a chance to talk about rebuilding, going forward, all the issues that have sort of been hanging over us. My name's Nikki Wagner. I'm the National MP in the Centre City, and of course my focus is being a cheerleader for Christchurch, trying to network people and make sure people know who to talk to go forward and to basically rebuild the city. And I'm very confident about where we're going. I know that it's a tough time for a lot of people at the moment, but I see in the future, with the growth that's predicted in Christchurch and Canterbury, with the amount of money that's going to be pumped in Christchurch and Canterbury, with the vision we have for our city, that we will be building something that's better for us and better for the next generation going forward. So I'm going to ask Steve to come up here first and just give us an overview from where he's seeing things are happening from CERA.
Amongst the priorities for CERA, one of the main things we're focused on is the land zoning decisions. So it's really important for people to know about the future for their homes and their land and whether or not they can rebuild in the area of where their house is. So most of the land zoning decisions have been made, and we've got about 6,000 houses in the red zone and about 150,000 in the green zone, but there still are a few hundred in the orange zone yet to be determined, and we're working very hard on that, and also about 2,500 houses in the white zone on the Port Hills. And the issues as we work through these are more and more complicated, but we need to get it right. We need to get it right for the future of Christchurch and for those individual people. So we're working very hard to give them clarity, and we hope to have those zoning decisions completed by the middle of the year. Also working with the insurance industry. It's obviously important for the insurance claims process to move quickly for you, and you'll hear some more from insurance people later on. We're also working hard on our strategy and planning exercise, so we've been developing the overall recovery strategy for the city, and that's an integration framework that covers all of the individual recovery plans, including the Central City Plan, the Infrastructure Plan, the Economic Recovery Plan, education, heritage, etc. So there's a lot of complicated interactions there, but all these plans need to knit together to provide the support for the city's rebuild going forward. And also we've been working hard on the demolitions process, and many of you will see that there's lots of cranes working in the central city, and you'll hear regular updates of the major demolitions. There's around over 1,300 demolition works have been approved and about 950 demolition works completed. So there's still quite a number to go, especially the larger buildings, but the landscape's changing very rapidly there to clear away the damaged buildings so that the areas of the city are available for rebuilding. That program is integrated with our cordon reduction program. We know there's a keenness from people around the city to get the cordons reduced and to get access back to the city centre again. We plan to significantly reduce the cordons around Easter time. We have had some delays from our initial schedule for that due to the additional earthquakes on the 23rd of December, and also as a result of that we've been pressing all the building owners to provide to us detailed engineering evaluations, or DEEs. So we've written about 5,000 letters to building owners to request those DEEs, and as those are coming into us, we're finding that some buildings have suffered more damage than the building owners initially realised. And that's impacting on some of those recent announcements that you've seen of buildings, not just in the central city, but down Riccarton Road and in other areas, even out in places like Rangiora and other suburban towns, that we need to make sure that these buildings are safe for public access, and where there are any safety issues, we're acting on that right away, and we're pushing those building owners to get those detailed engineering reports done as quickly as possible. And once we're satisfied that an area is safe, to reduce the cordon, then we'll be bringing back those cordons as soon as possible. Overall, I'm very much like Nikki. I'm very positive about the future of the city, very optimistic. I think we're going to have a city that's built back better than ever was before. We're very well insured, as was mentioned before, and I can see that we're going to have a very modern, efficient, resilient city that will be attractive and that will bring the people back in. So I'm very excited about that. There are numerous projects underway and recovery projects that you can see already. Driving in here, you might have seen the new rugby stadium here at Addington, so that's exciting to see that going up. There's a very successful Restart Retail project down Cashel Street, and we're looking at how that might be further extended. The university's well along the way of building their new student centre to bring some student life to those university students out of Ilam, and there's numerous other pop-up container shops in various areas, Maryvale, etc. So CERA is very keen to see the economic recovery of the city, and we have a great team of people in at CERA who are working very hard for you and for the people of Christchurch to get our city up and running again. So thanks very much for listening, and I'll be very pleased to take any questions at the end. Thank you, Nikki.
Now, thank you, Steve. I'm going to ask Aaron Hames to come and talk to us. Aaron is from the City Council, and he's involved with consents. So we actually had a few questions about consenting beforehand. So first of all, I'd like him to give you a little bit of an overview about what they're doing about consents, and then you can ask him some questions. How's that, Aaron?
Thanks, Nikki. Yep. Okay, so I'd like to give you a little bit of confidence in what Council are doing at the moment in relation to gearing up for the building consents that we expect to get. I'm the EQ Building Consents Manager for Christchurch City Council, and after the September event, Council recognised that we were going to get quite a lot of work in the consenting area and decided that we needed to gear up for that influx of work. So we've created a separate unit to deal with all of the earthquake-related consents that we've got with some new teams, and we've gone right through all of the processes and everything that we do in the way of issuing consents to try and work out how we can do that a lot smarter. We've brought in new electronic processing systems and some online document sharing software that we use where we can have our applicants apply electronically, and we can bounce information backwards and forwards over the internet with them. As well as some of that process work that we're doing, we've employed quite a few new staff. We've had approval for over 70 additional technical staff in the consenting area, and that's across mainly the building consent area. In addition to that, we also have planning staff that we'll be building the numbers on as well. As you might understand, there's two parts really to building projects. There's the work under the Building Act, and then there's planning approval under the RMA. And so that leads me on to talk a little bit about how your project that you're working on may be affected in terms of that legislation. Unfortunately, we have to go through that regulatory process before we can carry out work in most cases. And you know, I guess Roger Sutton spoke at a bit of a talk that we gave to the community the other night on zones changing to green. And Roger said, you know, in a time like this, the council's your friend. We add a lot of value to the building work that you do, and the fact that so many buildings out there have actually survived the earthquake. I know there were a lot of failures, but overall, you'd have to say that the building stock in Christchurch, given that it was quite a large event that exceeded what the building code demands of a building, you know, the stocks performed really well in Christchurch. So, you know, council are your friends. We want to work with you. We don't want to put roadblocks in place. We are very focused on making it a quick and efficient process for you. And so, you know, we encourage that people engage early with council. So if you're thinking about doing some work, or you know, you've got repairs to do, or you've got a new project, what we want you to do is come along and have some talks with us nice and early, so you can arrange for what we call a pre-application meeting or pre-application consultation. And you come in and bounce your ideas off us, and we can start giving you some guidance on what you need to do to prepare consent documentation and that sort of thing. All right, so that gives you a little bit of a summary on where we're at the council and some of the rules. And just remember, the council has a really good customer service centre, and we have, you know, qualified people manning phones there. If you've got any queries, you can always ring up and talk to one of our customer service reps. We also have technical staff who man the phones there as well, building consent officers and planners. and they can answer some of the harder questions that you might have. And of course the pre-application consultation, we're really pushing for that, because that really does make our consent process much more efficient. Okay.
What we're going to do in a minute is we're going to end up, there's 4 tables down there. There's one for Steve, one for Aaron, one for Recover Canterbury over there, Anne, and one for me. And anybody else who wants to have any discussion around that area.
There aren't really flooding problems down in Rickett.
No, but my building is down to failure. But because I think so, they should have the same rule, but I don't know why.
The other thing that can affect the floor height is the design of the cladding. So if you have a cladding that overlaps, you have a timber frame on the edge of the slab, and you've got a cladding that overlaps the slab, it may be that you need to lift the floor height to get enough clearance at the bottom of the cladding, so water doesn't spread.
I think that's where CBA is such a massive thing. Into the eyes and everything, because of that, because people actually need to see what's available and be able to utilise it.
Well, this is donated to Christchurch to help the Christchurch businesses become re-established.
Okay.
We have a tiny piece from the government, but it is very small in proportion to what these other very well-meaning businesses have donated. So we are using that money to actually physically fund the business of the people, not to provide donations.
So, as you know, I think most of Korean business used to...
Just serving our side dishes, but we're going to do it. Are we able to do it from home?
You mean the production of the food and then sell it on another site?
No, just production.
What have you done about this? Have you done this? No. But she said, listen, shut up. Do not talk again. You must see my daughter. She's not timid. She's definitely not timid, but she's very polite. But you have now. She said, no, you shut up. Have you done this? No.
Cross will pay for professional services, I think up to $750 for an accountant or a business advisor to help you with preparing your business plan. So you can get that work done for you.